Hello, everyone. In this video, we will demonstrate how to create a change pointer record using Salesforce Flow. In this diagram, we're going to explore Salesforce Flow. First is a powerful automation tool that enables organizations to automate business processes without writing code. In this integration scenario, an after-save record-triggered flow is used to monitor changes to important Salesforce records, such as accounts and contacts. When a record is created, updated, or deleted in Salesforce, the flow evaluates whether relevant fields have changed. If a relevant change is detected, the flow can either send the updated data immediately to an external system using SKYVVA's Invoke Callout v3 method or create a change pointer in the CDC Control Board for later processing. Now let's go through the process step by step. Trigger and evaluation process. Step 1. When a record change occurs in Salesforce, such as when an account or contact is created, updated, or deleted. Step 2. Record-triggered flow. The Salesforce flow is triggered automatically after the record is saved. Then Step 3. Evaluate relevant fields. The flow checks specifically monitored fields to see if any data has changed. Step 4. Evaluate relevant fields. The flow checks whether any relevant fields have changed. If no relevant change, the flow ends immediately without taking any action. If a relevant field change is detected, the flow proceeds to the integration processing stage. Real-time and CDC integration process. Relevant field change detected. It can either process a real-time Invoke Callout v3 or create a change pointer record for later processing. 1. Real-time Invoke Callout v3. The flow sends the updated data to SKYVVA through an API call in real time. The external system receives and processes the update immediately, ensuring near-instant synchronization between Salesforce and the target system. 2. Create change pointer record. The flow creates a change pointer record in the CDC Control Board. The change pointer is then picked up automatically by a CDT job or processed manually. The external system receives and processes the data at a later scheduled time. Now, let's start the configuration. Navigate the interface has already been created. Click on it. This interface does not have a message type, but you can link a message type to it if needed. It is an API v3 interface with an outbound direction. Scroll down. In the adapter section, we are using an existing adapter, specifically the REST adapter to send record changes to the WireMock API. Then scroll down, find the section SKYVVA CDC setting. Click Edit button. SKYVVA CDC, Change Data Capture, is a SKYVVA feature that detects data changes in Salesforce and creates change pointer records. These change pointers tell SKYVVA which records need to be sent outbound to external systems. The agent CDD scheduler last run is obsolete. Now, no need to check this flag for defining the change data anymore. The interface control runtime for the last run date are created automatically by the CDD scheduler. When you have configured these settings, check the Use SKYVVA Outbound Scheduler. This flag is used for CDC processing. When you check this flag, it means that you activate the CDC processing. It activates both CDD and CDT. You can set an interface for running only CDD or CDT at some time. CDT worker query limit. This field is used to define the number of query records. When the CDT working runs, the start method will query the record to send out. If it is too much, we will run into a CPU. Set this field to an appreciated value so that you don't get any errors. CDC mode determines whether the interface runs CDD, CDT, or both processes. Select CDD to run only the CDD process and CDT to run only the CDT process, or none to run both CDD and CDT together. In this demo, we select none, allowing both processes to run at the same time. You can select the picklist value to specify the runtime. CDT Worker Query Limit. This field is used to define the number of query records. When the CDT worker runs the start method, we'll query the record to send out. If it is too much, we will run into a CPU timeout. Set this field to an appropriate value so that you don't get any errors. In this demo, we select None. Then click Save button. Now navigate, click the Setup icon, then select the Setup menu. Search for Flows in the Quick Find box. To create the Salesforce Flow, click New Flow button. Click Record Triggered Flow. This type of flow automatically launches when a record is created, updated, or deleted. It runs in the background without requiring any user interaction. Select the Salesforce object that will trigger the flow when a record is created, updated, or deleted. Below is the list of available Salesforce objects that you can select for this flow. Now, we selected the object account. Configure Trigger Flow when a record is created, a record is updated, a record is created or updated, and a record is deleted. In this demo, we select the A record is created or updated. Then set a condition requirement. These are all the available condition options that you can select based on your business requirements. All conditions are met, and any condition is met or custom condition logic is met. Formula evaluates to true. Now we selected all condition are met and for the condition requirement. Configure the flow conditions by setting the first condition, account number, to ACC001. Then add a second condition. Setting billing country to USA. When a record in Salesforce is updated and meets these conditions, the flow is automatically triggered and executes the defined business process. Select every time a record is updated and meets the condition requirements. Click Save button. Then input the flow label name. And API name. Click Save the Flow button. Click Add Element. Select on Action. Searching for an Apex action name, create change pointer. Select on it. Input the name of field label. And API name. Configure the input values by selection the Quick Resource Trigger account. And select Account ID. After that, go to Copy Integration Name and Outbound Interface Name Pass into required field. Then, click Save as New Version button. Click Save it again. The version 2 is created. Click the Active button. Automation was activated. The Salesforce Flow can send data changes to external systems using two different approaches. Real-time integration. The flow immediately sends the data to the external system using the invoke callout v3 method, ensuring instant synchronization. Change data capture, CDC. The flow creates a change pointer record in SKYVVA CDC. The change can then be sent later, either manually or automatically through the CDT job, providing a reliable asynchronous integration option. Click on the CDC Control Board. This is where SKYVVA stores change pointer records generated by the CDC feature. These records track Salesforce data changes and can be sent to external systems manually or through the CDT job. On the filter screen, you can filter by interface name and display only the interface settings for SKYVVA CDC. In the status field, you can filter records by selecting the values New and Processing. Date field for filter, you can filter records by selecting specific dates for created date and last modified date fields. The CP Query Editor is used to manually query change pointer records from Salesforce. It is separate from the automated Salesforce Flow process, which creates change pointer records automatically based on record-triggered events and configured CDC settings. The Clear SObject ID button is used to remove all selected Salesforce object IDs from the screen, allowing you to reset the selection and start a new query. Click the Search button to view the change pointer records. The records displayed here were previously created by the system. Now, we will create a record manually for demonstration purposes. However, records can also be created or updated by external systems. When those changes are synchronized to Salesforce, they can automatically trigger the CDC process and generate change pointer records based on the configured CDC settings. In this example, we have manually created a new account record. Fill account name is John. Account number ACC001. And billing city Chicago. Billing country USA. Then, when the account is saved, Salesforce Flow evaluates the configured conditions. If the conditions are met, it automatically creates a change pointer record. Now click the Search button. Here, you can see the new change pointer record name that we have just created. In this video, we are focusing only on creating change pointer records. If you want to see how to send data changes in real time using Invoke Callout v3, you can refer to the previous video. At this time, we can send it out to the external system either manually or scheduled process. Select the checkboxes for the required records and send them to the WireMock API. This allows us to test and verify that the records are successfully transmitted to the external system. Then click Send button. When reprocessing a change pointer record, you can choose one of two execution modes. The first option is Send All Fields based on mapping, which sends the complete record data based on the configured field mappings. This mode is typically used when the external system requires the full record information. The second option is Send Only Changed Fields, which sends only the fields that have been modified since the last update. This mode requires the SKYVVA Apex trigger to capture changes in the SKYVVA Change Data table. In this demonstration, we select Send All Fields based on mapping and click the Reprocess button. The operation then moves into the processing state. Go to Monitor tab. Search the message after processing. As you can see, the message was created successfully. By expanding the API message section, you can review the business message and transmit it to the WireMock API. Next, click on Message Detail to review the message data. Here, all data has been successfully sent to the WireMock API system. Now, We will update one more account to demonstrate the process. Click on the account record and update the account number, billing country, and billing city fields. Go to the search screen, find Change Pointer Records. This is the new record created after the account was updated in Salesforce. Now we will demonstrate how data is sent automatically through a scheduled process. When the scheduler runs, it automatically processes the change pointer records and sends them to the external system. We start the CDT scheduled process per interface and configure the time interval for execution. Click the button Start. The scheduler automatically picks up change pointer records for the selected interface and sends them to the external system at the defined time interval. Then we wait for the next scheduled run. Once it executes, the scheduler automatically picks up the eligible change pointer records and sends them out based on the configured schedule.
Check the Apex job.
When the scheduler run reaches this time, the scheduler is executed. As you can see, all records have now been processed successfully. Then check the message monitor. Here you can see the messages that were created. Finally, this video explains how Salesforce Flow can be used to automate data integration without code. An after-save record triggered Flow monitors changes on records such as accounts and contacts. When a relevant change occurs, the Flow either sends data in real time to an external system using SKYVVA's Invoke Callout v3 method or creates a change pointer in the CDC Control Board for later processing. Thanks you for watching. See you the next video.